Scott, thank you very much for the introduction. Um, we've got a heck of a show today for everyone who's joining us. My good friend Brad Williams, please let yourself be heard, buddy. I want to make sure
Hello, my
you're
friend. Hello, hello. It's good to be here on our
okay.
Wednesday QA.
We have a lot of, a lot of the people that we see at the Q&A webinar, and you guys will not be disappointed because it's possible. Although I have said this before, this could be the best one ever, Brad.
It would not be the first time you said that, but
Correct. But I
but,
am
but I'm
as
excited. I think you may be right. Let's hear it.
now, Brad, I like to say you don't know what's coming. And you don't exactly know what's coming, but when it starts to come out, you're going to know what's coming, then you're going to jump in.
Okay.
All right, you ready, everyone? So first of all, let's get to the legal. Trade Ideas, of course, is not a registered investment advisor. There's no information that you're going to hear from myself, Dr. Williams, Scott, or anybody affiliated with Trade Ideas should be construed as any kind of solicitation to buy or sell securities. If you need that specific advice for yourself, please consult a registered investment advisor. All right, Brad, let's jump into it. Past proves future. Brad, what does that mean, you think?
The past proves future. You got to know what's happened in the past to predict what's going to happen in the future.
May I adjust your concept here to say predict is not really the proper thing, because again, predictions, in fact, I want to say any kind and all predictions are dangerous. Here's why. The word prediction, Brad, kind of connotes a commitment with an emotional commitment. Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure, sure. I
Now,
fell
of
right into
course,
your
like
trap.
when I go and gamble on the Masters and say Sergio Garcia is going to win it, 25 to 1 odds, and then I win, that was, you know, a total gamble on my part. And I made a prediction. But that's not really a good way. I can't consistently do that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say. So when
Okay,
people
sure.
try to predict, they often find themselves in a bad situation. What if I say just it's the reactive components? In other words, to properly understand what's happening to you now, it is good to study the reps, to go through similar type of behavior so that you're prepared for what's happening, so it's not as scary, right?
I'll buy that. Sure.
I mean, isn't that why Tiger Woods practices at the range and so on and so forth? So when we say past proves future, what we're talking about is this is standard psychological analysis. If you're in warfare, if you're in any kind of strategic endeavor, right? You want to figure out, all right, well, if I'm going to be competing, let's say, with somebody, let's see what this person does. MMA fighters, they look at tape, of somebody who they're going to fight. They're going to see, well, how does this guy behave when somebody does this? How does this guy behave when somebody does that? So that again, and then they train for it. So that's what we do. That's our whole claim to fame in Trade Ideas, is that we've invented a new way to look at how the past proves future. And this is where, Brad, your favorite slide is incredibly important.
Talk to me about it.
Well, it's not the first time I've seen this, obviously. It's a meme slide, and my God, is it good. This is the nativity scene, two women praying over baby Jesus, I believe, the son. But as the humor in the banner points out, you really can see a battle of, two Tyrannosaurus Rexes over a table saw. And what that means is that people see different things on charts. Our eyes are not really that good at serving us when it comes to crunching data. In other words, like they talk about the fact that eyewitness testimony has issues. You can see one person and easily be fooled by who it is, even in a lineup. I mean, this is not the first time that something like this has been, discussed or heard.
Sure. Yeah.
So what I wanted to do here was use this example of, this is a common mistake. So this is a chart of a stock, Brad, and you've got two people looking at it, me, Brad, and of course, the 60 wonderful people that we have here, or 166,660 people that are live with us, pushing the boundaries of the internet. And there are many people that see exactly one thing, and many people see exactly something else. And if you focus on trying to figure out exactly what it is you see, you miss the point entirely, which is fluidity. The thing that you see is not the important thing, it's what happens after. Okay? So this is where I'm going to minimize the presentation and kind of bring in something that a lot of you guys should know. And this is where we're going to start blowing some minds, Brad, you know, as we often do. Mm-hmm. I'm going to talk about one of the toughest and most challenging things for all traders, for all investors, is of course to realize that they have to, let me back up for a minute, Brad. So for those that don't know, yesterday I went out and purchased a gun, exercising my Second Amendment rights. First time I ever did that, by the way. And so when I did that, I had to take a test on gun safety. And the first question that they asked, or the first thing that like you have to kind of understand about a gun, made me think about trading right away. And I'm going to tell it to you and you'll see what I'm saying. So the first thing you have to assume about a gun is that it's loaded. Have you ever heard that before, Brad?
Absolutely.
Okay, so why do you have to do that?
Pardon me?
Can you tell me, being the smart guy that you are, why do we assume the gun, any gun is loaded?
You absolutely have to assume it's loaded because you do not want to shoot somebody and hurt somebody accidentally, yourself or someone else. Right,
and you want to be, and with something that can cause harm, you generally want to be defaulted to a higher level of awareness, whatever, you know, like caution, etc., right? So how does this pertain to trading? Well, with trading, if you just simply assume right away that whatever you do will be a mistake, and you are prepared for it, you know what I'm saying? You make the mental exercise, okay, I'm going to trade, it will go against me. Be prepared to lose, not like instantly like you're doing some sort of religious ritual, you know, like where you beat your shoulder until it bleeds or something. But what I'm just saying is that if you understand to treat a trade like treating a gun, meaning like it's always loaded, then you understand that the stock market really does give you that freedom of movement that for the most part people are led away from, not shown. You know, the fact that you can get into a stock like you see Triple D here, right, Brad?
Yep.
Okay.
I do.
So Triple D is having a really nice move after hours. Okay, so it's moving up, probably had earnings today.
Yep, it did have earnings after hours today.
Yeah, okay. So went from here to here. And the point is it's kind of in this range, so a lot of behavior is happening. But look, there was a nice bit of behavior from here to here, and there was a nice bit of behavior from here to here, etc. We do not know what is going to happen. But interestingly, the not knowing doesn't matter. If you have proper systems risk control approach, you were able to do a lot of things, Brad. You can try things out and see if it works. And if it doesn't, then you move on. We've said this before. I mean, we've talked about this theme of turning down the emotional gratification, the need to succeed in the trade so that you can execute the proper systems-based strategy of applying risk to every situation that you get into. You know, Brad, by the way, you know, going back to our presentation, and just for a second, because this has to do with the next slide. Everything I just said is done on a daily basis in our trading room with Barry Anderson. And Barry's been with us for several years now. And Barry is the MC of the trading room and allows people to kind of interface with other investors and traders through the guise of a shared room best practices scenario. And he also talks about his own trading. And I'm really just mimicking a lot of what Barry does in the room right now by saying that the systematic approach to active speculation investment is being able to control your risk. And we are giving you not only technological user interface ways to do it, but of course, the social ways. Every day, 600 or more people come into the room. The room is free. You don't need to be a Trade Ideas subscriber. But again, if you guys, for the people, I mean, most of you probably in here already go. But the ones that don't, you really ought to come in there, listen to what Barry and the other traders are doing. It is a best practices and one of the best places where you can learn how to do it without any pressure. You know, Brad, it's like in National Geographic lion shows, how they take the little baby lions on the hunt, the adults. This is the same thing.
Got to show them how to hunt.
They got to show them how to hunt. Barry shows you how to hunt. So
he shows you how to hunt, but he's also showing you how to use our tech too. It's really a great combination, and like a lot of people like this thing.
Barry's like a Canadian mounted police Wolverine X-Man. So many weapons, so much help. It's incredible. Guys, really do it. trade-ideas.com/trading room. There's no barrier there. Did you get that, Brad? There's no barrier. Sorry about that. I digress. But moving away from Barry and back to what we're showing you here, because it's going to matter. So you see these lines. Brad, what are these lines? You tell the people, because you know I scream too much. What are these lines? These little dots?
Well, you know, they're kind of like
road color, Brad.
They're roadmaps, right? And so we're showing them these lines to you on both, as well as the shading on both this intraday and daily chart right here. And these lines are kind of telling you what your risk exposure is or should be when you get into a trade, and what your profit expectation could be. So it's really taking a look at that stock, taking a look at that stock's volatility, how it's traded today, what kind of volume it's done today, what's the range of it today, and it creates value there for what it determines as a smart stop. It's a filter in our software. We're also displaying it here on the chart, but we're also taking that and we're just multiplying it by 2 to give you that same algo in a profit target.
So Brad, notice that because Triple D, so this is the real timeliness of the software. There's no delay here. Notice that because Triple D is up after hours, look at where the stop is at 39. It moved. See right now, it looks like, wait a minute, what are these guys doing? The stop is above where the stock is, right? No, the stop, if you're in after hours, it's saying, hey, look, man, if you got in here, this is where you want to like kind of, if it can stay above here, it's good. If not, you could be in trouble. That's what the software is telling you, okay? And this is so critical because this is the roadmap way, and I'm just going to switch, you know, here a little bit more after hours stuff. Look, the stock, Barnes & Noble, Brad, you know, obviously had some good earnings or a crazy print, you don't know, but the point is, see, like, boom. This is, if you're into it after hours, here's your risk area. Ask yourself this simple question. What other technology provider out there where you can look up any single stock? Again, let's look at Twitter right now. I can just zoom into it right now. Of course, I just changed the symbol. Okay, so here's Twitter. So what other software, as soon as you get in, again, assuming you're getting in right now, and Brad, I'm leading with this, you know, assuming you're getting in right now, the software is telling you here is your risk metrics, if you're a little zoomed out. So you can kind of see on a chart, right? It's saying, look, I've kind of done the analysis, I've got your back. This is where you need to give it. You know, it can fluctuate here. So this is your tutorial, your Google navigation built in a box. And as you guys all know, okay, we have the Brokerage Plus that allows you to trade this. And this is where I'm going now. So you guys are here in the Q&A webinar. And of course, Brad, what do people want to doing the Q&A webinar. They want to hear the future, the crazy shit, what's coming. So Brad, what have you and I been working on? What have you, like, you know, in the deep cave of the sorcery where Thundar the Barbarian lives with his friend Ukla?
Well, I know I'm going to get this wrong because it seems like I always do, but in the deep dark cave, there are a couple things that we're working on. We're working on some additional AI algorithms, some additional ways for our AI to help our users make money. We're working on cryptocurrencies, working on our 24-hour server to accommodate that. Have I hit any of those yet? Probably not, right?
Well, you know what I love about you, buddy? I mean, you're so good. See, Brad, it's like Brad knows he's in a chair tied up. He's being interrogated. He's like, look, I'll tell you everything. And he'll tell you everything without saying anything. I love it. It's like a venture capital presentation.
Sorry, man.
Not exactly, big boy, but let me help fill it in for you for the entertainment of the crowd. Brad, so let me first start with quick, because again, let's get somewhere. This is our AI channel. Today, the AI did not make money. It was a tough market. I mean, there were times when it was kicking butt, of course, but there was...
Well, you sound, let me correct you, dude, because you're making it sound like the end result of today's AI is really what the data conveyed to the end users and the ability to...
Oh, no. Listen, don't go defending your girl, Lancelot. Listen, Lancelot, don't go defending Holly just yet. I'm not cutting her down. I'm going to show some people some important shit.
All right.
Stuff that they need to see. And I'm going to touch on your point, so just wait a second here. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So there's number one, subtle and important innovations that I want to remind people of. I want to okay, so for the people that don't know, and this should be like 0 of you here, but this is our AI channel. Okay, the AI channel is a channel that does the presentation, you know, past proofs, future. We're doing where, you know, some people see the dinosaurs, some people see the nativity scene. The point being is you don't do this visually, you do it mathematically. We crunch the 1 million shares a night, figure out what's going on, and then we trade this stuff for you, telling you what our computers came up with, what's the best strategy, and you see the net result of it at the bottom. Today, just today, some of the finishing net result was net negative. But again, that's not the important thing that I'm saying. Brad, I'm going to bring something up which you know and you've seen, but we haven't kind of articulated, but I want to re-emphasize this again. We've talked about the AI as the canary in the coal mine, have we not?
We have.
Okay. So what that means is the AI is designed and built to be way better than you or I. And by the way, tons of people, tons of really good traders got their asses kicked today. Okay. It wasn't specifically an easy day to trade. But here's what I'm seeing, Brad, and I know you've seen this too. Over the last few days, more and more positive trades from the AI are coming on the short side. Okay, so I'm just giving you guys something that we ourselves are noticing. Look at the end results here, right? What's working, Brad?
The short strategies.
Yeah, some. I mean, not all of them, but the shorts are working more and more. So that's one of the things that we want to tell you. We observe this, and we're going to do better at giving you guys some of that data also, but shorts are starting to work. That means that Holly will find more short strategies to play. So that's an important thing from the Q&A. You know, as we are all on the same team, you know, we're just trying to tell you what we see. Does it indicate 100% that the market's going to go down? Not necessarily. I mean, again, it just means that the statistics are saying what they're saying. But Brad, back to something else. So why are these color codes there? Brad, talk to me about the last price color codes and how they were designed to work to help people.
You bet. So it kind of gives you it does give you a visual reference point as to where that stock is currently trading compared to where it suggested you to get out of it. So if it happens to be a blue sell, it's letting you know that the last price, the current price right now, is higher than the exit price as offered by Holly based on the time stop or the reduced risk or one of the algorithms that it has to get out of the trade. If it's red, it's giving you the absolute opposite. It's telling you that that stock is now below the stop level. Yeah, so when you pull it up, you'll see that any one of those stocks with that red background is going to be below the suggested smart stop level of that particular trade.
And one of the things, Brad, that this is important for is, you know, how do people get the most out of the AI? And we're constantly pushing the envelope for people to understand, well, you know, what it is that we do, how we do it. But this was designed to help people go and transition to get the most out of the market from risk on and risk off. And also to say that, hey, you know, if you're like, let's say you come into the market today, right? Let's look at the timestamp. So we went 1, 2, 3 by 7:04, or let's say you come in at 7:15. There's already 1, 2, 3, 4 trades on, right? Well, if you're just looking at it right now, you would say to yourself, well, you know, these are the two that I would be looking to get into, hypothetically speaking, because they're working. So this is another way to help people follow what the AI is doing, right? So this is the thing that we kind of want to make sure is communicated by us in terms of, you know, why do you see this? Red, avoid these guys. They're not working.
Pull some of those up. Pull a couple up on the chart, and you can see visually exactly. Yeah, it's a great example, right?
Stop and boom. You know, so we are doing everything, guys. We're putting you into that driver's seat to let you know. And so here's something else that's coming. Okay. So as you guys know, right now, to trade Holly, right click, boom, interactive broker. And we have tons of videos on that and everything else. But we are building, Brad and I have been building the logic for Holly to get in, get you out, and even get back in again, and even, Brad, reverse. So imagine this, you're a skier, and depending on your skiing ability, or in our case, in this case, risk tolerance, you know, if you have a $500,000 account, you might say, hey, get me in, get me out. If you think it's good, get me back in. If it actually goes through the stop and is below, go short. Yeah, it's going to be that crazy and insane. You will be able to, and here's something else too. So right now, Brad, you know, how many signals did Holly generate? 13, right?
13. Yep.
Because this is the first way that we ever, you know, brought this AI technology to market. Believe me, ladies and gentlemen, it is not the only way that this is going to exist. There will be multiple AI channels, multiple opportunities to trade lots of different things, fully automatically. And just speculate better than the competing speculators. That's what we want to give you. That's what we are going to give you. We want the first adopters, our friends, the people that believe in us, that are paying for this software. You guys pay for the software development. If you guys weren't subscribing, we could not afford to do what we do. It's expensive. Brad is so expensive to keep going. He eats like a horse. You know?
And he doesn't sleep.
And it doesn't, not anymore.
Not anymore.
So, again, you have to put yourself in the perspective of what it is that you're seeing. You're seeing a market data interface, a channel, an HBO for the market, where you can go to all sorts of HBO settings like Alpha Predator, where you're hunting really kind of big types of percentage moves on things that not a lot of people are seeing and watching. Again, you're the predator. You're waiting for the tree, for the leopard. You are the leopard. Brad, why can't I talk? Somebody's a leopard, damn it. Okay. All right, Brad, there was a question about me and something, the SPY, and then I'll get back to the leoparding.
Yeah, I think what JJ was talking about was the smart stop and the profit target annotations on the chart.
Okay, so let me
I went over it, but those are the. You want to take a stab?
Let me say it uncomplicatedly. If you bought the S&PY at this place, this is your suggested stop right now. The software always assumes that wherever the last print is, you bought it there when you look at it. And this is your suggested profit target, which happens to be at whatever the hell the 50-day SMA, Brad. How cute.
Right. Now, if you were going to like keep this chart up for the next 30, 40, 50 minutes, that smart stop value is not going to change. That profit target's not going to change, but the candles will, and you know, they may rise up to it or fall below it.
Right. But then if you go to something else and then half an hour later come back to SPY, the software will assume that the new SPY price is where you're getting into it now. So, okay, question about does Holly react to Fed news, et cetera, et cetera. So there's, Marguerite, it's a good question. People often ask, like, how is this done, or why? I mean, does it factor in technicals? Does this factor in news? Does it factor in this or that? The answer is that we are at the highest level of data inception and development. So we are at the tick level of the data. So there's no point in Holly to try to see Fed news, because all she needs to know is how at various points in times, when an event such as Fed news happened, how did the market react? We don't even need to know that there's a name for the event called Fed news. You know, it's just an event. So the event becomes, if they announce at a certain kind of close to the same time frame, it picks it up automatically because it sees what it does on one type of event, what it does on the other, and eventually learns. It covers everything. The option channel question. Brad, this is your favorite thing. Come on, get some. Wait, no, I'm in the wrong channel.
Let me get James before you hit that. So yeah, with respect to automation, we do have it, and you can certainly create any strategies here within Trade Ideas and drop them into our Brokerage Plus interface, which, like Dan was saying, links right up with your IB account at Interactive Brokers. But right at this time, we're not allowing the Holly signals to be automated. So it's still a manual process with respect to the Holly signals.
So let me just, to what Brad is saying. So imagine, just use your imagination for a second. So this would have been the first thing that you would have seen in the morning is at 6:47, it would have been told you to buy HZPN at 15:11, which was right around here. And literally right after that, these are 5-minute bars. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 minutes later, it went through the stop, but you can see right here, it was actually, so 26 minutes later, the stop was hit. This happens, you know, and look, and later on it went up and came right back down to it. I mean, this is something that takes place, but the idea is, had you been following it, right? And if you liked what you saw, when this happened, you would have seen the entry price at 15:11, right click and said trade HZPN, right, Brad? I mean, that's it. Does that make sense? Do you guys see what I'm talking about? So the question is, how do you set the amount? There's a whole thing called Brokerage Plus. Okay, and Brokerage Plus looks like this, and when you trade through it, you're in your interactive brokerage, all of your orders come in, and there's new let's see, when this,
let me take this big guy.
Yeah, remind me, Brad, it's been so long.
Go to the strategies tab. It's all the way on the left. No, the tab, it's already open. Yeah, right here. And so this is where you would go ahead and put in your strategy, and he's going to show you where you can configure it, right? And so this is the area where you configure what that strategy is going to be, but then you've got your rule sets. When can you possibly get into it? How many orders can you fill? What type of order? Is it going to be a per share type of order or a dollar quantity? And then is it a market or a limit? or a limit delta. Maybe you want to get aggressive. So a lot of great little parameters you can put in here, and you
Brad,
do that and just turn it
but
on.
also, don't be intimidated by this, because we help you get through this part. If you ever want to do this, you do not have to jump into this table by yourself. I mean, that's what I wanted, because it can kind of seem a little intimidating.
Well, it's just an order panel, and you don't have to have it off.
Well, not
You don't
to everybody, but I'm just saying, to people that are new, do not worry. Okay? And Barry does trade off the software. I mean, using the software, not right-clicking, but he trades on IB with the software, but manually.
A lot of different types of traders. Everybody has their own niche, and yeah, we allow you to be very unique in how you approach it.
So this is how you set that up. And again, just so that everyone see it, as Brad pointed, I'm on the strategies tab, okay? And if I right click in there, I can say new strategy, or load, or again, if I've worked on something, I can load it from my cloud. And when I go to new strategy, that's where you can, again, basically collaborate your alert window, or right click, load it from the cloud. Again, you already have something, you load it from the cloud, you've already back tested it, and it's all in here. And in Brokerage Plus, so when you get in, you see the positions here, you can click on it, you can flatten it, you can double down on something, you can reverse. There's all sorts of cool things that you can do. You can see your P&L and stats.
Yeah, it's good to have that historical representation of your P&L, kind of similar to the way Holly keeps track of it from the first trade. This keeps track of it from your first trade.
Right, so when you right click and you go trade HZPN, now that I have this out, see, these are my defaults, and I have some options. You can have right away have an options for short, option for long, different shares, so you can kind of like, you know, freestyle it. All of this is already built in and set up for you. But as Brad and I are saying, one of the cool things that we're doing is we're working on the full automation of that, so that you guys don't have to work on the mechanical side of order entry, but really just focus on capital commitment and what it is that you want to invest in. Where do you want to let the AI hunt for you? Brad, is that a good, you know, kind of high level? I think that's what I'm super pumped about.
That's what I've been working on. Yeah.
Yeah, Glenn, Barry will answer that question.
So like Jeffrey, with respect to, you say, does it automatically set the stops? Now, if you're doing the, with respect to Holly, it does give you the indication of where those stops should be. If you're talking about the automation side, yeah, we have filters like the Smart Stop filter or any other custom filter that you want to create as a derivative off of our current data. The Smart Stop's just one of them. So sure, you can have that as your exit. And then you could get creative with what you want your profit target to be through the use of a formula or any one of our filters that we have.
I was helping. Hey, Brad, look at how I helped answer one of Barry's questions.
He just doesn't know it yet, right?
Well, I was just helping him. Yeah, oh yeah, he totally didn't get that feeling until all of a sudden he realized, nudge, he got this feeling where all of a sudden Barry starts using Brokerage Plus. I just don't know how that happens. No peer pressure or anything. So, again, you've got the AI, which is a statistical readout telling you what's going on, okay? Telling you suggestions. We are seeing, more success on the short side than we're ever seen before.
We are going to hit the options channel.
Yeah, so that's something, no, I'm just kind of giving you, so that's one thing for you to know. Follow the blue rabbit. Follow hashtag Brad. Follow the blue rabbit. If you are looking to get into stuff that the AI is in, if you're looking to trade around the AI, Brad, who do you follow?
Follow the blue rabbit.
There you go. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, now, Brad, you've been waiting so long for me to give it to you. Here it is. Drive, sir.
So one of the great things about Trade Ideas is that we're not just kind of displaying market data out there. What we do in real time is we create new market data that, I don't want to say market data, we create new data that's really just special to Trade Ideas that we use with Holly through the AI analysis, but we also provide them through filters that you yourself can use if you're creating your own stuff, but we kind of showcase a lot of that through these different channels. And the options channel.
Brad, I'm sorry to interrupt. We interrupt this program for a sales emergency. Emergency. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Read Brett's question. For everybody. Gonna make an example out of Brett.
Hi,
Watch
Barry.
out, Brett. Here you go.
Can you talk SRNE and tell how to configure a breakout scan to alert on the breakout at 12:15 today?
So I will say, Brett, why today when you could have had it on the 16th or on February 14th? I mean, could you ever ask for a better example of marketing than say, like, this is what we do, Brett? And I'm like, I mean, I love your question.
Well, no, but dude, that leads right to the spot where I was talking about the unique stuff that we do, the market data.
That's what I'm saying. Brett took it from us like is Brett a plant? Did you hire Brett?
All right, so check it out. Like this stock right here, we'll go back to the options channel, we will. But this stock right here, the relative volume, right? Someone was also asking, is volume the most important? I'm not going to say it's the most important, but it's a very interesting.
It's a critical component.
Very critical. But this relative volume, for instance, it's a very unique data point to just Trade Ideas because, like I said, we're making this new data on the fly, and relative volume happens to be one of them. It's a ratio telling me at this point in time during the day, how does that stock trading compared to normal? What kind of volume compared to normal? We know it trades more in the morning, more in the evening or afternoon, and less in the middle of the day, so it knows all that. So a value of 2.45 is just quickly letting me know that it's 2.4 times normal, right, or 245% of normal volume. Critical. It's really important, and you do get a lot of these real extended moves when you have the catalyst being volume. So to that end, go back to the options channel, and what we do with options data is unique too, because we're grabbing this options data from the Oprah exchange in real time, and we know what normal options volume is for all the stocks. And so when a lot of volume from an options perspective comes into a stock, we know it instantly, and we show that through our options volume today percentage filter. I think it's available, or it's shown on all three of those windows on the left right there. So that's letting you know what kind of option volume is happening right now compared to normal.
And by the way,
just another one of our data points.
Brad, do me a favor, since you're driving, also tell the people that I'm sharing my screen and my mouse is nowhere near the computer, and people are doing workout reps right now, myelin reps. They don't even know, myelin, the stuff in the brain that neuroplasticity, Tiger Woods, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, and so, yeah, this is our idea surfing, and the idea surfing takes a look at the different top list windows. Those are the windows with the T right there, or the AI windows, whichever are open, and it'll take a look at the top three results in each one of those windows based upon how it's sorted, and it'll go through and it'll give you that visual display of what's happening in each one of those windows, and it'll cycle to the next one and to the next one, and as soon as you move your mouse into the chart, it'll go ahead and stop, and you can do your analysis, or you can go up to the toolbar and pause it. Hey,
Brett.
Yeah.
How's this one? Had a good one. Listen, guys, this is what I'm trying to say. Over the long term, there's not going to be anything better than Holly and Barry. But Barry's already married, so nobody can have him. But Holly's available. And it's not just for day trading. I mean, again, of course, in hindsight, this looks awesome. But look, there was this situation. You might have had to re-enter right here. But this is where all of these tools that we have built in, like, being able to create price alerts, etc., and put markers there. The whole system is geared around and built towards making you a more efficient speculator. And of course, we are displaying to you what our AI is all about. Look at this move. This was Every time the AI is getting into a trade, Brad, we talk about it. It's not in it for the day trade, even though that's what we
Well, it's in
expect.
it for two reasons. It wants you to be positive at the end of the day. It really is looking for that criteria first and foremost, but it is based on the way these configurations are set up. Oftentimes it's the start of some type of move. And even though this one took a little bit of time to develop, you know, once it starts going, this is where price alerts really come into play, because when you do that 1-2 punch with AI signals, that means an AI signal came in from today. I mean, these are the things that you should do. So they all came in, and regardless of what happened, you should be going through there and setting your price alerts up. So, because again, this is a catalyst move that happened today, whether it panned out or not, there was some reason that it found it. And more often than not, you set these price alerts up to show you when that thing is starting to break out of its range, and they're very powerful opportunities.
Well, that's the whole thing, is that, again, also to the tune of proper speculation and proper funding. I mean, here's the funny thing. Imagine this like as a deck on a blackjack table. You know, you're in, you're in, you're in. Again, you've never gone below this level, which is kind of like your level for the initial entry, right? I mean, you're still above this gap. This is your risk area. In, in, in. In again, and here's your gap. I mean, you can be selling all of this out right now. That's one way to do it. But the point is that no matter what you do, and remember what we were saying before, this is going to guess better than you over the long term. But even though it's going to guess better than you still have to live with it day to day. So that means that you have to be able to get in it and assume that it might not work out, and exit. And that's where all of these lines come in. This is that built-in risk control, you know. And going back to Holly, Brad, there's a question about, can you look at Holly's history? Yes, you can. Here's yesterday's trades. Mark, all of our trades, they happen in real time. So, I mean, everything's time stamped. This is, again, I don't know, I'm not sure what you mean by verify, because the data comes out as it happens. We're a data feed. And it's on the second basis. So all of this is watched by people live. It's possible for us to make this up. But these are suggested AI trades. Now, we do not trade every single one of these, but you can see the data, and we have a whole paper on the record. Yes, all of that is available. And Brad, what did David do with that thingy? There's some paper on that, isn't there? Or we're also going to have that on the site as well.
Yeah, I mean, we have it. We should have it a little more readily available, because it's great data.
No, you bring up a good point. We need to have it more readily available, but I do want to show that you can go to history, live, yesterday. You can go to specific time frame. For example, what happened on this day in 2017?
Yeah, and I think we used I'm trying to think. I think we used a 3-month block of time, so you can really capture a good block of time. And if you wanted to grab it all, you would have every single trade in both risk on and risk off mode.
So you can see it all. Showing people, here's entry price of 26 on ESPR. How does that look, Brad? Does that look all right?
What's that?
I said, how does that long entry on ESPR look?
Pretty good. Now I can't see it because it's not scrunched, but I can know the price. Yeah, that's pretty solid.
Let's see. How do we scrunch it all the way back? How about that?
I mean, it didn't just hit you once. It didn't just tell you once. It's like, come on now, come on now.
You see what I'm saying, guys? Look, The software is screaming at you here. There's no other way we can choke you to look at it. I'm gonna get you. Look. I can't. I'll forget it. They're not listening.
Show
Guys,
the price. Have you shown the price alert yet?
I'm about to. All right, so let's go to something else which is very important. Okay, so ESPR. Brad, do I like this stock?
You do like this stock, and you know what? It's got
Brad, do I like this stock?
You hate this stock.
God
You
damn it,
love this stock.
Well, Brad, I'm interested in this
You
stock.
don't love or hate anything. You are just simply wanting to. Oh my! All right, fine.
God, all right, let's do it again. Brad, do I like this stock?
Well, not yet. You don't, but
There he is. Yes, not yet. How do you know that?
because we have these little hearts in our chart that allow you to show some interest in a stock, and once you show interest, then you can do some cool stuff with it.
All right. Thank you, Brad, for showing me one of the ways that we let software and technology kind of work together. So here, once you see something that you like or not like, or just something, let me say something that you, much like on social media, something that catches your eye, you can select it, okay? Just like this. So where does this stuff go?
Did you ask where this goes?
It goes right here.
It goes to our My Liked Symbols channel.
So this is My Liked Symbols channel. So what Trade Ideas does is this is a one-of-a-kind channel. Every one of our subscribers has their own view of the market. I have one of mine. Brad has one of his. Brad's is different than mine. Mine's different than Brad's. And in our loony bin together, we observe this and have a completely different stock market experience.
I would be setting a price alert right there myself. I mean,
on ABIO?
Yeah, man.
Why not? Okay, so then Brad said, how do we, again, we want you to work with our stuff simply, right? Don't be writing like some stupid formula like if then close equals greater than price yesterday highlight block of volume times MACD of, okay, never mind. So there's an easier way to do it. Here's Arca Biopharma, and we don't know what it's doing, but it had a 35% move up. That's pretty significant on 13 million shares. And Brad, what about this relative volume, sir?
Yeah, I don't know. Was Marcia asking what a good solid relative volume is? I mean, I said 1.75 to 2, but yeah, what, 53? I mean, every day there's something that's going every day.
When you see something that's trading 53.4 times its normal volume, here's what you can be assured of. You will not be hearing about this stock on CNBC. That's just not how they roll, Brad. You know, at the CNBC, you're going to be hearing about the FOMC. FOMC is not something that you need to see. But what you do need to see is BIO, ABIO. You see? It's like I'm a beatnik poet, Brad, but I mean,
just set the price alert.
Okay, never mind. Here we go. Right click, create a price alert. So now I am letting myself be notified if this thing really continues. And here what I'll do is I'll make it 1 and I'll say breaking the 1. Whoops, the 1. So this allows me to just simply put a pin to the stock. Once you put it on a chart, you can grab it, move it to any price level you want. Okay, so here now I have this alert. Again, it's like the software is following you around. You can now move away, go to a different channel and do whatever it is that you want to do. And this software has it. Brett, how was that Twitter? This is a pretty good one too.
Short it.
Well, I mean, it's good here.
All right, okay. Short it.
This was a good one. You know, it's just simple proof that we are doing something that nobody else in finance is doing. Zero, nada, no Bloomberg, no Goldman, no, I don't even know other firms. Whoever, they're not doing what we're doing. We've changed the mold, broken the game, unlocked the secret. We're creating a fully automated way to manage your money by yourself. We're going to let you, hopefully, have that ability. Here's again, notice, just a processing thing here, right, Brad? Check it out. For the first, I went on social media channel, got noticed of HRI. I don't have any idea what the hell it is that they're doing, but man, I did notice that Holly caught a nice move in it, so I'm just going to keep an eye on it. That's all you need to do. It's that simple.
Well, what if you wanted to know what HRI did? What would you do?
Well, I could, of course.
Go to your single stock. I don't want you to fumble too long.
Well, right. No, right here, I can, of course, I can go right here, go to a single stock and say, oh, equipment rental, supplier, et cetera, et cetera. But you can dive in, and you've got the tear sheet right here. Earnings date, they're going to have earnings in 6 days. Hang it.
They had earnings after hours, not so good.
Yeah. So no, here's NIHD. This is the one that we were talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Also, quick tear sheet, market cap, what's it doing? So you can just quickly make, a quick judgment without spending too much time and say, is this for me or isn't it? Can I handle this volatility? But the software is helping you. Look, it's answering that question. If you're in at the last print, whatever that is, 32, I guess, right? If that's what it is, this is your app. That's the kind of help that you have here. I mean, this is your virtual assistants on any single stock, okay? You look at AAPL, you're going to get help there. You look at Facebook, you will get help on Facebook. You look at Google, I can't spell Google. Netflix. So what I'm saying is, it's not that just that we are following our stocks. Of course, we are following every single one. So get ready, guys. I mean, you're here again. You want to know something? The thing that you want to know is this. We are bringing the fully automated version of this to life. Okay? So I'm going to conclude the presentation with a quick understanding that we are a subscription-based service. This is how much our software costs. For artificial intelligence is the price of either a drink and a sandwich or your coffee. And we have a promo code, TI Valentine. Scott, again, I don't know why I keep thinking it's not, but it's February, so that's fine.
Yeah.
All caps.
Good through midnight.
Right, good through midnight. All caps, TI Valentine. That gives you 15% off your first month, or a year off premium or standard. And then, if I knew how to read, I would see that it says promo code expires February 28th. So this is the price. We do a podcast. We have lots of different media options, a YouTube channel, a podcast, and very easy to get a hold of. Like us on Facebook. If you have any questions, here's our information, info@trade-ideas.com or dan@trade-ideas.com. We have some Twitter handles. If you want to see me personally on Twitter, and on Twitter, I am, again, not just a corporate entity. I do a lot of different stuff on there. Very opinionated kind of Twitter persona. So that's me. And our corporate one is @trade-ideas. And we are a part of the Inc. 5000 last year. And again, very positive momentum. Brad, James has a question about something with SMAs. Anything on that end?
Yeah. So James, the bug that's related with SMAs when you scroll is, it is in the process of being fixed. It's a little bit of a bigger project, but this should be done in a couple weeks.
Awesome. Scott, are we all good? Is this all recorded? Any other questions by?
Yeah, we'll have the recording up in a few hours, and get an email reminder tomorrow where that playlist is located. Remember, we have that discount code. If you'd like to get a handout with that code and some of the other slides, just expand the handout panel of your GoToWebinar interface and click on the blue link to download that PDF. And any questions, send us an email, info@trade-ideas.com, or send one to dan@trade-ideas.com, or follow Dan at TradeIdeas1 on Twitter, @TradeIdeas, another one of our handles, and we're Trade Ideas Pro on Facebook. Like us there so you get all our updates and share that stuff with your friends. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Scott. We really appreciate everyone spending time with us. Thank you again, and we'll see you soon. Thank you. Take care.
Have a good
Bye, everybody.